Hi, I am Kim Parry. I'm a homeopath and I have been practicing for 9 years now. Two stories really inspired me to become a homeopath. The first one was I had a cat called Chloe and she ended up with renal failure, and my local vet was a homeopathic vet, which I didn't even know about at the time. And so I took Chloe to the vet and he ended up curing her, which is basically, it never happens with cats. They don't come back from renal failure. So that was my first sort of experience with homeopathy. And then the second one was after I had my first child, my daughter. I had chronic fatigue and I had it for a very long time, I would say possibly even a year. And I went to the doctor. They wanted to give me antidepressants. You know, I kept saying, that's not what this is. I don't have any energy to move. I didn't think that, I wouldn't even be able to sit on the floor to play with her because I didn't know whether I'd be able to get back up. And I went to a homeopath, remembering the experience I'd had with my cat. And after 2 weeks on a remedy, I was better. So after that, I decided that I needed to know everything there was to know about homeopathy, and I started studying. So I remember that I saw a client who was extremely ill. She had chronic fatigue as well, but she had really basically ended up on death's door with it. And she was so close to death that she actually recounted this story where she started seeing other people's spirit guides. Like the veil had become so thin for her because she was so far along. I didn't see her at that point. She'd come a little bit back herself anyway, but she was still very unwell. I ended up giving her a remedy and she just improved so rapidly after that remedy. And even things like she had these goals that she really was hoping to get to at some point in her life, but they ended up happening in a couple of months after treatment. And after that, I just sort of thought, this is life-changing. This is just such a wonderful modality that it can bring people back from so far gone. So what I wish everyone knew about homeopathy before they studied was just how profound the changes you can see in your clients are. I think that when you go into studying homeopathy, you know that it's going to help people, but you can really heal people's deepest griefs and traumas and ailments from decades past. And I think that that really helps keep it such a rewarding and satisfying sort of role. Homeopathy has changed me personally in so many ways, mostly because of the healing that I have gone through in regards to my use of homeopathy. I would definitely not be in the place that I am now without homeopathy. Again, just because of the unresolved stuff that comes from childhood. None of us get out of childhood unscathed. So I have had some profound shifts in regards to my own healing. And so that has enabled me to be a better practitioner. And in regards to how homeopathy has helped me professionally, I guess it has helped me up-level my skills in regards to business and all the things that come with it. So one of the things that I've really enjoyed in my practice lately is how much mentoring and tutoring I have been doing. So up until this point, it was mainly just consulting with clients, whereas now I have gone into the other sort of role with students, and I've absolutely loved that. I've loved seeing, how the students are growing and learning and being part of that journey with them. So because of the type of homeopathy that I practice, which does generally, most homeopaths do a little bit of everything, and I love doing that, but I really find it very rewarding to help people with trauma recovery. And so because of that, I've finished some counselling training. So I've recently got my diploma in counselling, and I really blend counselling practice in with my homeopathic practice, which is really nice. And I've also recently trained to do EMDR as well, which I'm finding great results with. But it was funny when I was doing the EMDR training, all of the practitioners there were sort of talking about the results that they see in their own counselling or psychology practices, which is quite slow going, which is, just talk therapy. And I was sort of thinking, I wish these people had access to homeopathy and they would see the quicker results that we see as homeopaths. So I came on as a tutor for Mel just when she started, when the students started doing their client cases. She realised that the lecturers themselves probably needed a hand with more tutors. So she'd asked She asked if I'd like to be involved, and of course I said absolutely, I would love to be involved, and I have just loved doing it. So yeah, it's very rewarding. What I love about the RMDY Academy is just how great they are at meeting the students' needs. I've seen Mel do this on the day-to-day. So the first moment that I sort of really witnessed it, it was when we did our first round of case taking, and Mel realised that the students would need more time, and she just added extra space for the students. You know, she did it at either end of the tutes, and she's also done it through the week as well. So she's just really there with her finger on the pulse, making sure that the students' needs are met, and just making sure that they are as supportive as they can possibly be. And, you know, that's Mel, but Jan is also in the background, you know, really just with the same narrative of what do the students need, how can we best serve them. It's just such a wonderful experience. I've studied at many different places, and this is by far the most supportive environment I've ever seen for students. Usually it's quite the opposite, you know, the education facilities sort of take a back step, but not at RMDY Academy. What I love about the unique approach at RMDY Academy is not only the spiral curriculum, but it's the format that they're doing, which is, you know, doing the lectures and everything at the same time as case management. So it's really building this knowledge base with hands-on experience. And so the students are, you know, learning through doing, and as well as, you know, learning the more traditional route of lecturers and you know, their readings and everything. So it's really just, it's just modernized education really, which I love. So some of the career opportunities available to future homeopaths would be, you know, there's lots of different options. You can just do your own home prescribing. Some students I know are just interested in doing that, or for their friends and family. You can, of course, go out and practice in your own practice. There's many more multimodality clinics opening up, so working alongside naturopaths, chiropractors, you know, other allied health practitioners. But even their own education, so doing first aid courses to the local community, things like that. So there are quite a few different options for homeopaths, and what I really look forward to seeing is as more homeopaths are out there and more people are using homeopathy, there will be more sort of need for homeopaths in different areas to do things. You know, I would love to see homeopaths in natural health clinics and things like that, or natural health food stores, that sort of thing, as well as naturopaths. So I think that Mel has really helped the future of homeopathy globally with what she's been doing, because I know that homeopaths have been really wanting to do what Mel has done for a long time and haven't been able to. And this is what is so fantastic about Mel, is that she has just sparked this revolution and lit the fire under so many passionate people, healers. So with that reach, and with more people talking about homeopathy and normalizing it, and not being afraid and sort of trying to justify it, but just accepting it as a really valid health and healing modality, then it's just going to grow more and more. And I also think that COVID obviously has really helped this. So the silver lining of COVID has been, you know, the opening up of people's minds in regards to not just how unhealthy Western medicine is, but that there are other systems of medicine that are really beneficial to, you know, humanity. So I think some of the qualities that would help someone be a great homeopath would be to have a compassionate and kind spirit, but also have humility and be humble, because the homeopathic consultation can be a very humbling experience, and just to have that compassionate sort of space for your client. So that's where the humility is really important. But also determination and grit, honestly, because even though we are now talking more about homeopathy and, you know, more people are interested in it, there are a lot of people who have got a lot of criticism towards homeopathy. And so you do have to stand in a space of not defending that, but just to be okay with other people's opinions, and just to know that you can keep doing what you're doing, and that's okay. But it's sometimes, you know, and I guess another thing that would be quite helpful is just to by knowing the difference between, intellectual empathy and emotional empathy, because often consultations can get quite deep and they can cover a lot of trauma. So it is important that you are not really taking that on board yourself, so that you are leaving all of those stories in the clinic space so that you can, close that door and come and be okay with your family at the end of the day. So I think that I help students overcome self-doubt just by letting them know that they will get there, because students are people in learning mode, so just asking them to remember that they're not expected to know everything or to be doing everything right at the moment. Like, they will get there. And, that's what I love about, the RMDY Academy experience, is that, these cases are practice. Like, it's all practice, and what you know now is just the foundation, and what you know at the end, that's just the beginning. And then you're going to practice on your own, and you will absolutely get there. So yeah. The most rewarding part of teaching future homeopaths is seeing how much passion they have and how quickly they're getting the concepts of homeopathy. And I have been, my mind has been blown in regards to that, because I went into those first consults not expecting anything, just, with an open mind, and just the way that the students were really getting to the core of the case and prescribing from there. I've just been, so happy to see that it's been really wonderful. And it just goes to show not only how great the course is, but how switched on the students are, how much the students just have that passion and that curiosity. Because really, that's what makes a great homeopath, is the curiosity, because you have to be curious about your clients, and that's what helps you get to the best remedy for them. If I was to give anyone advice about whether they were wanting to study homeopathy, I would say absolutely do it, because at the very least what you're going to get is an entire knowledge base to be able to help you, your loved ones, your friends and family with their health now and forever. But also, if you do go out there and practice, it is one of the most rewarding jobs you will ever have.